Welcome. I am Cheyenne Marzullo, and for my elementary statistics final project, I decided to delve into the question: does Eastern Mennonite University's religious affiliation deter non Mennonites from attending the university? Now, my background for choosing this project is pretty simple. As a current student at Eastern Mennonite University and also a non Mennonite, I'm curious how the school's religious affiliation affects others like me. And I also think it is important for the university to understand how they are being perceived by the public. Before testing my hypothesis, I looked into three other studies that looked at similar topics to mine. The first study I looked at asked whether or not religion had any impact on how a person experienced college. And I found that people who did attend religious events had increased grades and overall collegiate satisfaction. This relates to my study because it deals with religion in college. The second study asked whether or not there was a correlation between the religious beliefs of parents and their children. And it found that yes, there is between mothers, but not fathers. And I thought this related to my study because I can see parallels between the beliefs of parents and the beliefs of a university. Now, this third study relates to my topic because it asks the question of whether or not students go to a religious university if they want to believe what the university believes. And it seems to conclude that yes, students will conform to the university culture. My two major takeaways from these three studies were that students attend universities that share their same beliefs. And furthermore, religion can be a positive factor in the college experience. This leads me back to my original research question, in case you forgot. My research question is: does EMU's Mennonite affiliation deter non Mennonites from attending the university? My hypothesis, based on the studies I reviewed and my own personal experience, is that yes, the Mennonite affiliation does indeed deter non Mennonites from attending Eastern Mennonite University. In order to make my study more doable, I changed my hypothesis slightly to the number of Mennonites attending the university decreases the amount of non Mennonites. This allows me to show a correlation between Mennonite attendance and non Mennonite attendance. Because my study involves a correlation, I have to include my null hypothesis, which is there is no correlation between Mennonite and non Mennonite enrollment. Now I'll explain how I gathered my data and conducted my research. I gathered my data from the EMU stat book, which is available on the website. It gave me the religious backgrounds of students from the past 6 years who attended the university. From there, I condensed the data into simply Mennonite and non-Mennonite attendance. I used a linear regression using Mennonites as my X variable and non-Mennonites as my Y variable. I found the results to be very interesting. After running my linear regression, I found an overall p-value of 0.347, which means there is a positive correlation between Mennonite enrollment and non-Mennonite enrollment. This led me to reject the null hypothesis, which said there was no correlation. My own hypothesis was also proven incorrect through this study. It saw a positive correlation where I thought there would be a negative correlation between non-Mennonite and Mennonite enrollment. I believe this is because in the past 3 years, they have been decreasing steadily together because enrollment has been down. Having conducted this study and come to the conclusion that I did, I can see some limitations that may have impacted the results. Beyond only being applicable to one population, I think the study is very narrow because it only accounts for the variable of Mennonite enrollment and it accounts for no other variables in a college decision. Furthermore, the data available was only for 6 years and I couldn't study the long term. So in conclusion, EMU's religious affiliation does not impact the students that enroll, which is good because it means that people take into account more than one factor when choosing a college. Thank you.
created using Powtoon.